Hey there, toy collector friends and collectible fans globally. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, that is the time traveling toy collector, and this is something a little different. Not only does this video chronologically commemorate my 300th video for YouTube, I thought I'd also do it on something that is a commemorable toy, but also one of the reasons that I sort of started this channel and my Instagram page in the first place, which is one of the oldest toys of mine that I still have. And this is the James Bond, Corgi James Bond, Aston Martin DB5, and it's played with, let's say. This is my one. I've had it since the 70s, and I think it was the second version of this. There you go. I think this was the second version of this toy. Everything on it still works. Notably, it doesn't have the rotating license plate. Not sure if you're familiar with this particular model, but it did have, I think it had, possibly in a version before my time, it had a rotating license plate. But it has a lot of features. I think they also had, on a version of it that again isn't this one, something that came out of the middle of one of the wheels would come out. So I think it was the thing that could shred tires of other Corgi cars, as happened in one of the movies. But yeah, so this is it doesn't mention the film in particular, but I know it appeared in certainly Goldfinger and a few other as well before the more recent films, but this is the one slap bang from the 1970s. Features around the sides, well, you can see the lovely detailing because it's presumably a licensed Aston Martin DB5 figure toy. It does come with a figure. This doesn't close completely, and it's rather obvious in its existence, but we'll get to that in a moment. So if we start at the back, why not? The first thing you see is this. This is the rear bulletproof screen. So rather than have bulletproof glass, which you'd think would make more sense, it has a bulletproof screen, and it is, by depressing the bumpers here, up it pops. It was originally, you can sort of see it as the light catches it, just silver, but it's had many years of play. But it is still there. It's spring loaded and it pops up brilliantly. Round to the front of the vehicle, we have what are called overriders and machine guns, which are concealed in those light holes there. And these parts of the bumper, which are replicated here, as you saw, are the overriders used to push cars out of the way or off a cliff or whatever. And you activate it with this button, and then they come forward to wallop another Corgi toy out of the way, and these two machine guns extend for well, for fun play in the spy world, and then click back inside. The pièce de résistance, of course, was the ejector seat of the DB5, which is activated here. You press that and wallop, up it comes. Empty seat. There's James Bond sitting quite happily in the driver's seat. You can see him there giving his Sean Connery vibes. And yeah, so the seat is spring loaded, it pops up and it throws out a little blue gunman. I think it came with two. I've of course lost mine in very annoying over the course of time. I think that said, I do keep finding weird things popping up. That's, as I say, one of the reasons I started this channel, because as I was moving, some of you will know this from other videos, but as I was moving things out of my mum's place following her untimely loss, I discovered she'd kept a whole load of toys that I'd had from the 70s and the 80s, which was really a surprise to me, and some of them I hadn't seen since then, and it really sparked my my interest. And of course, when that coupled with a little bit of grief at the time, got me trying to go back. It was part of my grief process was going back and collecting some stuff that I missed, like what was coming out at the time, which was Skylinks. I think it was the War for Cybertron Skylinks, and some other bits and pieces, and I gradually got sucked back into that world, that particular world being the Transformers. So this, of course, is one of those pieces that I found. It still rolls brilliantly. It's a fantastic click figure, and it stands the test of time. But this was recently released as part of the Corgi Collectors Club, and I saw it and I thought this has to be got, because again, some of my earliest toys were Corgi collectible cars and dinky cars and Matchbox cars, and I would remember on a Friday afternoon, I'd be sitting at home with my mum waiting for my dad to get in, and every Friday without fail he would bring me a dinky or a Corgi or a Matchbox car, different types, and I never forget that. It was a Friday treat. I'm not sure where we got them from, or what started it, but yeah, it was always on a Friday afternoon, and yeah, so that was quite a tradition. Isn't it funny what you remember? Anyway, I saw this and I thought, oh my goodness, this is phenomenal. So this is the original, well, obviously it's reproduction, but it's the original 1960s box art and box reproduction for the Corgi release of the Aston Martin DB5. Now you can see already there's a bit of a size discrepancy here, so already I'm aware that this is a slightly smaller model. I'm assuming it's a slightly smaller model, but on reading about it, I mean, we can have a little look at the box. You can see it's got James Bond driving, secret operating features, retractable machine guns, which is what we have here, so I'm assuming this smaller version does all of this. I've not opened it properly yet. Opening roof and ejector seat, rear bullet screen, telescopic overriders, that's these things, and secret instructions. So I'm very, very excited to crack this open. You can see all the way around, packed with action. So that's exciting, packed with action. And yeah, so very, very excited to get this. So before we crack this open, and as we've reached the 300th video, I would be thrilled if you could possibly like this video to help me celebrate my 300th video. And also, if you haven't already, please drop a subscription to the channel. The videos get a wide range of views. Some pick up maybe 20 views, 25 views because it's a niche thing. Others get 6,000 views plus. It's a small channel, and that's fine. That's what I'm about. But it would be so great if you're watching this, if you could just click that subscribe button. It would mean the absolute world to me. So let's get this out of the box. Right, so I did make sure and check that there was no tape or anything, because that would have been a shame. I'm trying, you know, it's awful. I know it's reproduction, but I really don't want to do. See, already it's damaging slightly there. Join the Corgi Model Club. That's more like it. I'm not sure what it's more like, to be honest, but apparently it's more like it. Okay, let's see what we have here. So, okay, interesting little box insert on there. Let me just close this up, because then I can maybe use that as a... So here we have the ejector seat in action with all the other bits and pieces out and on display. There's the stuff. There's an arrow pointing down. Oh, I see. Okay, so this is the back. I can feel what's behind it. So there are secret instructions. Okay, so here we go. Big review. Oh, and it's gold as well. Or bronze. Gold or bronze. I'm not sure. Top secret documents are kept here. Authentic. Exclusive. So I suppose this is, you know, this is how I would... You can't really see that there, can you? Let me just move this up slightly. This is how I would likely be displaying this, because it's just such a lovely classic display, and it sort of screams 1960s, 1950s, doesn't it? You can see already the difference in scaling of the two cars, and to be fair, that's how sort of the scale I remember the majority of Corgi and Matchbox cars being. It has a film over the top of the ejector seat, and I can see, I'm just trying to work out how we get it off. I'm hoping it's not screwed in, but I'm imagining it's difficult, isn't it? Because part of me wants to leave it like this, but I suppose I could actually put it back onto those indentations that we get there. I'm just trying to, that might not work while it's plugged in. I don't know. I don't want to break it. It doesn't have the same things on the back. I'm looking at this. I'm going to zoom in because this is something that I did a double take a second ago. I don't know if you can see it on there. It actually has, and it actually does have, I'm speechless. I don't know if it's got a mechanism to do it. It's got, can we go in a little bit tighter maybe? That might do it. It's got the rotating license plate. And I don't know about you, but I didn't see that anywhere on the box. So the rotating rotating license plate is for all of the different countries that Bond might travel through, because it's different colours, etc. Does it? Let me see. Oh my! Yeah, and we have it on the front as well. Does it? So we have it on the front. Yes, we do. Sorry, you missed that there. Yep. So we have it here. It's so small as well. It's almost, I don't know how we'd get it to turn around. It's not only that, it's actually quite stiff here. The front one is quite, there you go. So you can see it turns around that way. Come on. Yeah, it's quite stiff. Boom. Well, you get the idea. So let me zoom back out again so you can get a better look at the complete thing. I'm gonna just whiz out because I need, and I've ripped it. That's annoying. But yeah, there you go. I should have squeezed it. I might be able to do something with that, but we'll see. So let's have a look what's in here. It's rammed in, I can tell you that for nothing. Okay, I'm going to put this back over here. Very annoyed about the tearing the thing. I'm going to zoom out so we don't lose sight of what we've got in shot. So here we have 007 secret instructions. So that's nice. Okay, so we've got a sticker, peel off backing and stick on lapel or shirt. I will not be doing that, but it's a nice little thing. Here we have, now this is nowhere near as blue. It's a different shade of blue, I should say. And he doesn't look very healthy, does he? This is the chap who sits in the infinitely losable. This is the chap who sits inside the DB5 ejector seat. So I'm going to put him to one side, and then we'll get the rest of the instructions out, hopefully. Okay, so what do we have here? Top secret. From 007 James Bond. So that shows us how you put that in, which I can assure you I'm familiar with. And over here, it shows us the various features. Now that's really interesting because even on this, it doesn't show you that it's got a rotating license plate. So I wonder why that is. I wonder why it doesn't tell us. Maybe it's like a secret feature and they didn't want to tell us and spoil us too much. That's all that's in there from what I can see. So I'll pop that away for now because I've sussed out how to use it, so I don't need that right now. So now we come back to the whole, how do we get this off? And I'm just trying to look in there, and you probably can't see it, but it's it looks like a tie, like a cable tie, but it's not a cable tie in the traditional sense. It's got the Aston Martin detailing there on the front, if you can see that. I'm just going to zoom in again so you can have a close look on the license, on the bonnet, which interestingly it does also have on the other model, which is a bit from the 70s. Right, so bear with, I think I'm going to have to stop recording just so I can work out how to get it off, and hope to goodness I don't damage it. And I shall be right back. And here we are with the car now in my hand. So what I did was use a craft knife to cut that. You can probably see that there on the backdrop. But it's like it's plastic with like a wire through it for extra additional protection. This is beautiful. It's very light. It rolls wonderfully. I'll show you the underneath. So there we can see James Bond, Aston Martin DB5, Corgi, 007. Not too much underside detailing. And as I say, we've got this on the top, which I shall now peel off. And that can go the way of all stuff. And it is actually beautiful. And I did take a moment to have a look at the rest of the box, and I can't see anywhere where it tells us about this wonderful rotating license plate feature, which I just think is so brilliant. I really do think it's fantastic. It is a bit stiff, I can't lie, and that might be my copy, or it might be in general that it's just a bit stiff. The back one, definitely not such a problem. The back one, quite happy to just go. There you go, it just spins around quite freely, as you can see there. But it's so small, it's hard to notice that. We have at the back here, you press these exhaust ports here, and they release, if I just see that there, they release the all-important bulletproof shield. And I'm trying to see if I can show you just how shiny that is. It's so shiny, it looks black. There we are, that's a nice view of it. I'm going to come out just a little bit more so we don't lose the integrity of the video. But and it doesn't, for a minute I thought it was a bit broken. It doesn't hold in unless you press that first, then put it in, he says, as it fails. What have I done here? There you go, and it locks it in. That was a moment of raw panic. Yeah, so you have to depress the exhaust pipes, then lock it in, and it does the job. Round the front we have again this lever here, which, let's see if the easiest way of showing it. You press it and bang. So it again releases the overriders at the front to push people off the road, and the concealed machine guns pop out fantastically, and they just clonk back into position. And then I've not tried it yet, as you saw, I've just taken the peel off. We press this and it should release, hoping, yay, there it goes. And they're inside. Now this is interesting, let's see if we can see. There is James Bond. I think if I go too close you won't see it in the light. He's dressed, it looks like, in the grey suit he wears in Goldfinger, whereas in my one of old he's wearing a dinner jacket. Do you see that? He's wearing a tuxedo and a bow tie, so, which is also applicable, but here he's literally dressed in his outfit from the film. So we are supposed to put this guy, who doesn't appear to have any legs, in there, and then we close it up, so he's now sitting with Bond inside the car, and then I'm hoping it will stay contained within the thing. We press this and he should get chucked out. The anticipation. Well, for some reason, oh, there you go. Oh, fascinatingly, he's got wedged. So I've probably done something wrong there, but I've got him wedged. He's got wedged in the car. Let me see if I can pop him out. How wonderful this is. But it just goes, there you go. So yeah, maybe that's maybe there's a very specific way to put him in the car, and I haven't done it, which is a bit sort of standard for me really. Let's try that. That's popped up again because it's easy to do. So let's see if this works. There he goes. Rocket. Yeah, you've got to just really get his legs in, just in there, and position him on that chair, which is where I'll leave him, because then at least I know he won't get lost. And I'm hoping, and again I'll pull out a bit for the full DB5 experience. I'm hoping this will be something I can use as a display stand. I'll take those other things away. I just didn't want to mess with it too much now. But I think that is a lovely display stand that they give us there. I think it's really, really nice. So I'm super glad that I picked this up. I tried to get it through the Corgi Collectors Club, but it turns out it's no longer available through the Corgi Collectors Club. It was a limited edition, so I had to pick this up on the secondary market. That said, I was able to pick it up on the secondary market sealed, and as you see it here, brand new, not removed from the packaging, for pretty much the asking price that Corgi were asking for it, so that's great. But it has really invigorated me to just sort of check back in with Corgi. I'm just going to lower down slightly so you get both models in shot there, because I really do, just handling these has been very nostalgic for me, but also the beautiful craftsmanship that goes into these things is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm really keen. I did have a look at some of the other stuff they had, but it didn't really jump out at me because they were just sort of, and this is not meant to be disrespectful, but they weren't really, if you like, character cars or vehicles. They were just some of the standard Corgi fare, which is great because I do think they're lovely, and I lived for those, my Friday afternoons where I'd get those toys from my dad. But at where I am now, in terms of what I have to be discerning in terms of what I pick up, it needs to be something quite characterful. But it does look like they're releasing another one of my favourite, and I mean favourite, sort of pre-Transformers, pre-Star Wars, pre-all of that sort of stuff, toys, which was the Corgi Batmobile. Now at the moment it looks just like they're going to do the Batmobile. It doesn't look like they're doing any of the other things like the Batcopter and the Batboat, which they did have, and I think there was also a Batcycle, but it wasn't obviously in scale. But those three things were, and you could get the Batmobile with a, which is what I had, the Batmobile with a trailer that held the Batboat, and the Batcopter came separately. I had that. If they re-released that, I would snap it up, and I wouldn't care how much it cost. I would probably go straight for that. I'd get a mortgage if I had to, because that was the memories I have of that, phenomenal. And yeah, so I would 100% be behind that. However, that's for the future. This is the here and the now, and the there and the then. And so yeah, it's sort of like, because I wanted to make this a commemorative video, I wanted to do something a bit standalone, which this I think is. But it also does link to a very collectible franchise. I do have the the Lotus Esprit that turns into a submarine. Again, that's something I think is due a re-release with a bit more of an update. And you know what, I'm just thinking this now, as I'm saying it, because I was conscious that some of the features in the retail version were really poor, in so much as great for the time, don't get me wrong, but really poor overall, because you can't see the wheels. The wheels, they already have the wheels covered up, so they're underneath. So when you convert it to submarine mode, it's just a bit kind of, it just has a pop out bit at the back and the fins come out. Whereas I think nowadays they could probably do that far better. And this is what prompted my thought. In one of my other videos, I was asking what would people like to see as part of the Transformers collaborative range, because we're seeing Knight Rider soon. We've seen Back to the Future. We've seen some Action Force G.I. Joe crossovers. How amazing would it be to see a Bond Transformers crossover, potentially, with a Bond car or cars, and the figures that they transform into. Now, what do you think about that? That's excited me. It's probably completely impossible from a licensing point of view, etc. But just from a wish list point of view, I would love, if nothing else, I would love a DB5, and I would love an Aston, and I would love a Lotus Esprit, which could be a triple changer, Lotus Esprit car, James Bond sub, and, you know, whatever the character is that its Transformers component would be. But I like that. Do you like that? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the comments below if you had this version of the DB5, if you had this version from the DB5 going way back, or perhaps you've bought one of the newer versions, or you got the Eagle, I think it was Eagle Moss that did a collection of Bond cars, which I so nearly collected and didn't, and I do kick myself sometimes because it did look like a good range, but 'tis lost to time. Do let me know if you haven't done, and I know I mentioned it earlier. Please do like the video. It does help me a lot, as does a subscription, which is completely free, and help me celebrate my 300th video. You've been a fantastic audience. I've been the Triple TC, that is the time travelling toy collector, and this has been the Corgi Toys James Bond 007 Goldfinger DB5, both in its commemorative reproduction 1960s version, produced bang up to date, and also my original from the 1970s, which isn't too bad considering it's the best part of 50 years old. Do you know what I mean? And that's the time of recording this. And I'm just so chuffed and grateful to my mum that she didn't chuck any of my, or the majority, or a fair proportion of my stuff out. Some of it's lost to time, some of it I still have, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you again so much for spending the last practically 20 minutes with me. It's much appreciated. As I say, I've been the Triple TC, and I look forward to seeing you in a future, or indeed a past, video. Just remains for me to say that a thing of beauty really, really is a toy. Forever. Bye-bye for now.